Hey, hi ho, cat guys, I'm Tangar Igroglaz. And today I want to tell you my story, my gamer story, and tell you what I've learned playing online games and mmorpg like World of Warcraft. I am professional mmorpg player because I played these games for 20 years and it's a huge part of my life. At some point it was like main part of my life and I'm still playing and enjoying these magical worlds. But games, it's not just a hobby, useless. It could learn you, could teach you a lot of different interesting stuff. And I want to tell you what I've learned, what useful I get playing online games and more PG. The most important thing, of course, no, there are a lot of important things, but why I make this video, why I speak English. I learned English playing online games because actually when I was at school I ignored English and a lot of other stuff. So I all my English, all my second language, my first language is Russian, and English it came from playing World of Warcraft because playing World of Warcraft I learned, I read all these quests. So it's first thing, it's quite obvious thing, but still. And it's not only like learning language, it's also you reading there, you getting richer, your vocabulary become expanded, and when you play online game, you're surrounded by very high, very intensive, very very much information around you, very much, it's like field of information. In real life, it's not like this. In real life, okay, you're surrounded by items which you could touch, which you could smell, which you could use somehow, like this. But in online games you can't touch stuff, you read about this stuff, and all stuff around you, it has very high capacity of information. So when you play online games, it's actually very useful thing. It's that you getting skilled in processing a lot of information in short time. So in online games you really make a lot of exercise, by making decisions, because all the time when you play more PG like World of Warcraft or other games like this, Ultima Online, Ultimate, my favorite one, you have to make a lot of decisions and you take information from your point of view and you make very important decisions all the time, and you learn while you do it. So it's not only high capacity of information around you and you need to process it, but also it's of course experience. And online games, if we would compare it to single player, online games give you much more than single player games, because in online games you interact with other people, with living persons. They are not programmed, they are real, and they sometimes could be quite bad persons, for example, and you could learn how to identify bad person, how to deal with it, because in every job, whatever you would do in your life, you always would meet some people who would harm you, not in physical ways, of course, most of the time, but people would harm you who have their own interest, and it's like competition. And in online games you have this competition also, and it's just perfect practice, perfect exercise to understand how it works, to find how to find real friends. And sometimes you could find a friend that it would appear your for, and it's all life experience we learning when we play online games. And next part of my gaming experience, it's actually communities. I learned a lot by organizing communities. At one point, I think After I played like 5 years in online games or something like this, I started to create my own communities, to organize clans and guilds in online games. And it was very huge experience in communication with another people, in organizing processes. And I could say that in real life right now I'm getting money for what I learned in online games, because I learned how to communicate with people, how to do a lot of stuff from HR, from recruiting till organizing events. And you learn how to define real people when you communicate with them, how to define good persons and bad persons. And I've met so much situations when a person could betray you, for example. And in real life, it's not so often you could meet such betrayal, because in real life, in school or in the university, you do not have much experience in interacting with others. You just read books. Books, it's perfect thing, it's good. But when you feel the betrayal, when you understand it, you get real experience, and it's very useful for real life. And third part, so first one, it's just skills. First, what I learned. Let's make some summary. First thing, of course, it's skills to process information and to get new experience, new life experience. Second one, it's communication with other people. I learned how to communicate with communities, with individuals, and how to, because online games gives you possibility to learn to become a leader or to become a soldier, and you look at this world from different perspective. It's very useful. And third one, it's your own characteristics as a person, your not just knowledge, not just skills, but your personalities. In online games, I learned how to fight with my fear. Recently, I wrote an article about it, and I'll put link in description of this video, about how I learned how to fight fear playing Tamnet, online regular game. And actually, it's in this game you have only one life. I play with such mod, and it means that if your character would die, you would have to start over from zero. And this is online game, quite also competitive one. And what I could say, it's very fearful, very horrifying to go deep to the dungeons where very unknown enemies could make you die, and you need to start over after, for example, 1 or 2 months of playing this character. It could be quite devastating experience, but actually you learn from it a lot of, you understand what is real loss, and you understand that life is quite complex thing, but it doesn't mean that we have to fear it. I learned that when you have opportunities around you, it's better do not fear them. Do not fear failure. Do not fear to fail them. You have to try. You have to try yourself in different fields. And when you do so, you get experience, you become better. You learn by your mistakes. And it's very important thing. In real life, you could learn such stuff, but it would cost a lot of blood to you. I mean, if in real life, for example, you loan your house for your business and then you lost it, it's kind of devastating. But in online game, it's not so bad. But still, emotion, when you play a character and you could lose it, you become very binded emotionally to this character, and it's also stressful. And you learn to understand that your losses, it's actually not it's not your disadvantage, because everything which happened to you, it give you power, it give you might, it give you understanding and experience, and you have to not fear, you have to try. And it's not all what I learned in online games for 20 years, of course. And some people, they would say that online games is a very bad thing, it's addictive. Okay, it's addictive at the start. When you start playing these games, it become addicting at the start. Maybe 1-2 years you will be addicted to it, and it could interfere with some other stuff sometimes. But in most cases, if a person doesn't prohibit it to play games, and he could play through it for some time, then he would be quite calm to it, and he wouldn't spend there too much time, and this person wouldn't forget about real life, what I could say. Because right now I play like 1 hour per day in online games, sometimes 2 hours, but not more. And I'm quite happy with it. It gives me a lot of interesting emotions and feelings and experience and new skills and knowledge. So online games, mmorpg, it's very good simulator where you could train a lot of useful skills. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Please write your comments below this video at YouTube. What do you think about online games and what did you get from it? Or maybe you have different opinion. Let's discuss it in comments below this video at YouTube. Bye bye.